I'm an easygoing individual. I like what I do. As a matter of fact, I love what I do. Somebody asked me that earlier today, and I'm a kind of a 24/7, 365 type person. I do what I do because I love what I do, and I wouldn't be taking on this responsibility, this role that I'm doing right now with IABC, unless I was really committed to what I felt was a good thing to do for the profession and for professionals. And that's where I see my job. I serve members, and that's what I want to do. I started my career here in the United States, initially in the newspaper business as a journalist, and working for companies like Communicators and then Burroughs, which is now Unisys. Since that time, I've traveled to different places around the world and moved and worked in different places in Asia and in Europe. And most recently, I am the chief executive of Drinkaware in the United Kingdom, which is a national charity aimed at changing the behavior of British consumers. Well, Drinkaware, when I first started, was basically an organization that was looking for a reason to be brutally frank. It was a great idea and a concept about where it was going to go to and what it needed to do. The biggest issue, though, that Drinkaware had to deal with was finding a way to be able to talk to consumers in a way that A, could fit into the budget that we had at our disposal, and B, in a way that allowed consumers to continue enjoying alcohol while at the same time moderating their behavior. So what we decided to do is we looked at first doing research against each one of those target audiences, basically under 18s, young adults, and adults 25 to 44. After we did the research against them, we found the insights that they would listen to and understand and incorporate in their own lives. So what they would then be able to do is to take those on board and make changes in their own behavior. Interestingly, what we did is decided not to use anything that was above the line. So everything that we did was basically digital or through the line and below the line. And again, more and more interestingly, as we started moving through the process of talking about behavior change in the United Kingdom, what we did is we started employing some of the latest behavior change techniques and social marketing techniques and trying to change the behavior of each one of those target audiences. That started I'm sure that you've probably heard of nudge and nudge theory. And then the nudge is basically, for some people, is to give them a reason to move without making them move on allowing them to move on their own. So giving them the ideas, the concepts, the information, the education, the tools to be able to do that. And if you look at our website at drinkaware.co.uk, you can see those tools, and those tools can then be put into action for almost anybody around the world. Well, I think with any organization, you need to take a look at what is it that the members, and especially in our case, what the members need to be able to improve not only themselves as a professional, but also how we can help the profession become even more professional as an entity. And that's what I see us being able to do, and that's how we are able to help businesses to be able to grow and develop themselves. Let's not forget that communications is an integral part of any business in terms of where they're going to go to, or their overall mix of methods of reaching their stakeholders and engaging with them. This is a perfect opportunity for us here at IABC to actually sit back and think about how we're going to be able to reach those people in a better way. And as you may have heard from Kirby, in terms of his response to your questions about some of the things, one of the things that we do know is that by giving professionals better education, better tools, a better way to go forward, and helping them develop their own careers, overall, over a longer period of time, what we're going to see is a growth in the profession, while at the same time drawing more people into it. I see communications as being an umbrella. It's an umbrella which a lot of things fit under, everything from investor relations to stakeholder relations to advertising and marketing and everything else. Communication fits all of that. And as a person who's run businesses in many places around the world, I can tell you all those things fit into one place. And that's within IABC and our ability to deliver for our members. I believe what I do is I believe in looking at the insights that we can get from the audience that we have and from our membership, finding out what they need to have and delivering on what they need. So they come to us and they say, this is the type of information, this is the type of tools or resources, education, conferences, webinars, what are the services that they need to improve their careers? I think we need to understand that first. And one of the things we're going to be doing is taking a look at what we should be offering to our members through a review process. And once we have that, my goal as part of, under the direction of the board, is to be able to take that and run with that ball all the way down the field and deliver for our members. Where is it that we could help people grow and change and develop, especially at the chapter level and at the local level? I think it's incumbent upon us to be able to be that place where any member can go to at any time to ask any question so that they can tap into any resource. I think we need to be able to get better and faster at that, personalized services that they need, so what they can then do is, instead of having to spend time to go look for something, it gets delivered to them. I think that's one of the clear goals and clear things that I'd like to see get done. Of course, we have to be out there talking to the media and giving people information about what we're doing. It's going to be, again, incumbent upon us, both at the board level and within management, to be able to go out the door, tell the story what IABC is doing, how we're delivering for our members, and being able to get that information out the door. We need to be able to share best practice as much as we possibly can, so people see what we're able to do and see what our members are doing. To be brutally frank, I mean, you think about how many people have gotten gold quills. And those gold quill winners, those cases that they've come up with, are cases that could potentially be used any place around the world. Telling that story in a bigger way across a wider spectrum of media channels is exactly what we need to do. Using social media, using whatever we can possibly do on the internet is absolutely one way to being able to go out there and doing that. But also getting interviews in traditional media, things like magazines and newspapers, and being able to expand that even further. Using board members wherever they are, and leaders wherever they are, within the IABC regional level or the chapter level, to speak about IABC and what it's doing and what its members are doing, and taking that message even further. I think every organization should reflect its membership. And I think it should be not only just reflect its membership, but also reflect a wide range of people in terms of their personalities, their capabilities. It makes no difference to me whether or not somebody's red, green, blue, black, brown. I don't really care. What I'm interested in are people that are going to be delivering for our members and being able to be the best of the best around the world. I think one of the areas that really need to consider is, how do we deliver the services to our members? And to the point about how we're able to reach more people, is that instead of bringing in a speaker, let's say, what we should potentially be doing are webinars, where we're actually bringing a speaker to many people. And so that what they can do is tap into that. And there's many ways of being able to do that. I participate in a number of webinars, probably 3 or 4 in a month. And those are all things that are giving me new information so I can make better decisions. They come from all sorts of different organizations, not just one, or like one in communications and elsewhere. I just think you need to find and be able to deliver for the members and what they need. So you ask about, why is it that maybe AMA might be able to do a little bit better than, say, IABC or PRSA? I think it's more along the lines of, what is it that you've got in terms of the marketplace, how many people do you have there, and delivering what they want. It's understanding what they need to be able to do their jobs and to become better in their careers and to improve their careers. They wouldn't be going someplace else necessarily unless they found that maybe those people were maybe giving them some more information they couldn't get elsewhere. But I think it's also the concept too that too often people pigeonhole IABC as an organization that does just this, when in fact I would look at it from a totally different perspective. I think communications, as I said earlier, is literally the umbrella that everything else fits under, because you're engaging at different levels with different things. They're just different channels. Advertising is a paid communications channel. Marketing is taking some of that same information that you would be using in communications and making it into a, for all intents and purposes, a marketing message that's going to go out the door. When I was, when I was working in financial communications, we would create a financial marketing message to be able to sell a company on Wall Street or someplace else around the world to raise funds. The same thing would happen with employees. You want to be able for them to understand the brand and that brand relationship. Does that sound like something that would come out of marketing? No, the brand is something that comes out of the business. How do you make that brand come alive? Whether or not it's for an employee internally or the employee delivering that same brand service or the service that comes out of that brand to a consumer. So I don't see it as being something where we're boxing ourselves in, or something that's small. I think we're that big tent, and everybody else kind of fits within that tent. What our job is to be able to do is to deliver a wide range of services and programs to those people that are specifically tailored to them, so what they can then do is improve their careers and get the most out of IABC. What we want to do is we want to become the go-to place for those people so that they can get it from us and we can give it back to them. It doesn't have to generally come from straight from IABC. It can come from a number of different sources. And we need to be able to tap into those. We have to become that bigger tent.